Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Casper and Cheryl here from the IAM Love Builders Show. We're so glad to have you here with us today, and a big welcome to all of our broadcast partners and friends who are out there. We thank you for tuning in today. I Am Love Builders is a show that's devoted to all things dealing with relationships, communication. Whether you are married or single, our goal is to help you become an MVP. That is the most valuable partner in your marriage or relationship.
Absolutely.
So remember, if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
All right, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors. As I Am Love Builders. And Cheryl and I wrote a book called Divorce Proofing Your Marriage, and it hit the hot new release list on Amazon. And we do these trainings twice a month. We do these MVP trainings. We do an MVP huddle, and we have highlights that we put out on social media. And we have a partner call we do that's an exclusive partner call. You want to get more information about that. We do free workshops for groups of 10 or more. If you're a nonprofit or a government entity or even just a regular corporation, and you can get 10 or more folks together for lunch or something, we'd love to do a relationship workshop for you. And we have a show that's coming up here in a couple of months. We're going to be doing we're doing a casting call right now for the show. We're looking for 6 dynamic and energetic couples to join us on that show. We're about half casted right now, but we need a couple more couples to close out that show. It's going to be taping on the 15th and 16th of August of this year, and it's going to be coming out later this year. So we're excited about the TV show. And we have a way for you to win a bronze MVP membership. All you have to do is go to any of the platforms listed, like Amazon, Apple, Roku, Apple TV, any of those listed, and download Zandra TV. Do that, take a screenshot of it, and get it over to us. We'll put you into a drawing this month to win a free bronze MVP membership. All right. So honey, today we're going to be talking about,
honey.
Yes.
Before we talk about what we're going to be talking about,
all right,
I wanted to talk a little bit about our casting call. So I just wanted those of you to know, if you're interested, we're looking for, I just wanted to be a little bit more detailed.
Sure.
So we're looking for husbands and wives, who married couples who have a product, a service, a ministry, a business, or something that you want to promote. You want to get more exposure.
Correct.
And that's why we're doing we're doing the TV show for a lot of reasons, but the reason why we want to have you on as our guest, so that we can interview you and talk to you about whatever it is you're doing, something you're doing to help the community. You wrote a book, you have a podcast, you're doing, you have a product or a service or something that's gonna be positive and a blessing to people. We want to give you the exposure. So coming on as a guest on the show means you will get exposure
on TV.
Yes. And Zandra TV has something like, what is it, 3.6 billion?
No, not billion. So 350 million.
350 million
homes Zandra TV is accessible into. So through all those different platforms, through Roku and Apple Apple TV and Amazon Fire.
Yes, all those. And so you coming on the show also means that you will get exposure. You will get a what is that called?
Let me have the technical
No, you will get what is it? I can't think of it right now.
You're going to get a lot of things if you come on the show. You're going to get a photo and video shoot for you that you can use on other platforms. You're going to get a press release.
That's what I was trying to say.
You're going to get a press release for you and your
business or whatever it is,
your book or whatever. Plus, you're going to be in a TV studio, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities throughout the day, because you'll be there all day. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you to potentially do a side film if you want to. If you want to have someone,
like a mini commercial,
you could do on one of the stages or whatever. It's going to be a fun time if you come out and join us all day long, but it's going to be fun. And at the end of it, you're going to have a lot of material video, audio, and photo material that you can use for other ways to promote
Your
your
business.
business. Yes.
Yes. And so in doing that, you will we have several packages,
Mhm.
and right now we're running a special that we will upgrade you. So whatever package you come in as,
Mhm.
we're upgrading you to the next package. So
That's correct.
I just want our viewers to know just how lucrative and how exciting this could be for them,
Yes.
especially
Yes.
if they're trying to get the word out there, if they just wrote a book, if they got a ministry they're doing or
Mhm.
something in the community, feeding millions of people, whatever it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
so that they can get the exposure that they need so they continue to grow.
Correct. Now, depending on what time you're watching this, if you're watching this live, obviously, it's now, but if you're watching it later, the time frame to do that is getting shorter.
Yes.
So the deadline, the drop dead date is the end of July of 2024.
Yes.
So if you're watching this anytime before that, you have until July, the end of July 2024 to become one of those 6 folks that we interview on our show.
Yes. So just wanted to share a little bit of that with you so that you can start making your decisions and contact us so that we can get you casted for the show.
Yes.
And with that being said, now what are we
Now-
going to do today?
All right. So over the years, months, and weeks, we have been getting questions that have come in from viewers of the show asking
Mhm.
different questions, and we've also been on social media answering some of these questions. So I thought it'd be good for us to take this time on this show to actually answer some of these questions.
Okay. Mhm.
And some of them are kind of detailed, and some of them are pretty quick answer, but hopefully we'll be able to get to most of them during this show.
Okay.
All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. The first question is, can marriages come back from one spouse cheating on the other? That's a pretty heavy topic, but we're going to get into it.
And our answer is, drum roll please, yes. However, it is going to take some work. It's
Yeah.
not, we're not saying this is going to be easy.
No.
Because once that trust bond has been broken,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot to build it back up.
Right. So both parties
Yeah.
have to be willing to roll up their sleeves and do some work. And because we're believers, our work, if you will, or the sleeves you roll up into is the Bible,
Mhm.
right? Because the Bible can help, the work can help you navigate through a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
So that's what we lean on for teaching and healing and
Mhm.
and forgiveness. Huge part.
Oh yes, that's going to be number one. It's the first thing you're probably going to have to do is forgive.
Yeah.
You got to forgive that spouse,
Mhm.
and then you will also have to work on getting your emotions
Yeah.
in
In check.
check, because that is a very hurtful and very painful ordeal.
Mhm.
But it's not an impossible.
Correct.
It's not impossible.
Correct.
There are couples who have come back from that, but you have to be willing to do the work. So yes, but you have to forgive. You have to do the work, and you have to be willing to get your own personal healing and not come back into the relationship trying to fix the other person.
Right. And that's a big thing that a lot of people want us to help them with, is fixing the other person. So they come to us and one is cheating and one is not. They say, well, the problem with our marriage is he or she is cheating.
Right.
Well,
Fix
maybe,
them.
fix them. Maybe that's the problem, but maybe that's just a symptom of another problem.
Right.
So we have to dig into it to find out
Right.
what is actually going on.
Mhm.
And that's why we created the MVP membership, because the MVP membership says, look, yes, they may be cheating on you, but what have you done? Not maybe intentionally, but what have you done that
Mhm.
may have led to that happening?
Yes, that
Right.
old adage that says it takes two to tango,
Mhm.
it pretty much does. So we want to work on both of you
Right.
getting healed and getting at your optimum
Yes.
for a solid, healthy relationship.
Absolutely.
And that it takes work, but yes, it can be done.
All right. It can be done. Now, we're going to take a quick 10-second break. If you're watching us live, it's going to be 10 seconds. And then when we come back, we're going to get into some more of these questions. We have quite a few of them. I think we'll be able to get through most of them. But that one was was a serious one. So we wanted to spend some time on that. All right. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be right back in just a second.
boy.
All right.
Quick.
We're dancing to the music. All right. So we are back. Casper and Cheryl here with I Am Love Builders. We're excited you guys are with us. So, we have gotten questions over the years coming into us, and we want to be able to answer some of these questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're taking the time for this show to really just answer questions.
Right.
If you're watching us live, you can chime in and ask us a question live. We'd be happy to answer that for you live.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get into the next question. And this is one that we hear a lot, especially in society. You hear about the different percentages of who should be doing what.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, are relationships supposed to be 50-50?
Well, it is our perspective that you should not give only 50% of anything that's important to you.
Right. I think a lot of people, though, they look at marriage, they say, okay, well, yeah, we're coming together, so I only have to do 50% because the other person, now my partner, is going to do 50%.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to it being you just by yourself, that it's all on you.
Right.
But now when you get married, like when we got married, I was thinking that, oh, great, we got married, you can go to work, I can go to work, and we can be working together, right? So I bring my 50, you bring your 50, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, no, here's all my bills. Husband, there you go. I'm like, what is But I had a full-time job, and I'm going to be a stay-at-home wife, and life was actually pretty good for about 3 months.
Then he got laid off.
I got laid off, and roller coaster
ride. It's been a journey ever since.
Been a journey, but anyway, so no, 50% effort is not going to be good in any situation.
Yes, I know they say that 50, you're 50 and you're 50, and together that makes a whole.
Right.
And my thought on that is that you should be a whole before you get into the marriage.
Before you get there.
So if you just 50%, or if you're dating someone who's only 50%, tell them, look, come back when you're 100.
Right.
Okay, you at least strive to be whole.
Right.
No one wants to just be a 50% person. That's it. I'm only 50%, and that kind of underestimates yourself too.
It does.
You underestimating who you are.
Right.
You're not just 50%. You're not mediocre. You are a supreme being.
Right.
You're a human. God has put a whole lot into you, and so you should work at being 100%, so that if I'm bringing my 100% game and he's bringing his 100% game, we're over by 100%.
Correct.
Now we're 200% into this instead of just 50%.
Yeah. And even if it's a situation where you're trying to do 100, but you only get to 80,
right,
and the other person gets to 70 or 80, you're well ahead of the game.
Right.
And you're a union, a marriage that is strong and vibrant and growing and healthy.
Right.
You're MVPs at that rate. If you're over 100%, you're MVPs. But if they bring 50 and maybe it falls to 45 and you bring 50, you're not getting to 100. Well, you got to be over 100 to be an MVP.
Right.
So that means that both parties have to be working to get that higher percentage.
Yes, and remember, MVP is the most valuable partner in your marriage or your relationship.
Yes, sure.
Yes, you want to be that. And so to answer that question, 50-50, no. I don't you don't give your employer 50%. I'm only 50%, but I want a full paycheck.
Right. Right. It's okay, if you work at 50%, no problem. We get 50% paycheck.
That's right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right. No, that's not how this works.
Not how this works.
So anything that's important to you, that's valuable to you, you want to give your all.
Yeah.
You don't want to be halfway.
No, you don't.
You want to give your all. So
all right. Next question is marriage supposed to be a partnership or a dictatorship?
Wow, I gotta be honest. That question kind of surprises me, because in my little mind, it's like, what? No, marriage is not a dictatorship. It is more of a partnership. The Bible says, and the two shall become one.
Right.
So we are one unit working together on building something for the kingdom of God here in the earth. We are a one strong force. We're two individuals, but we're a strong force,
Yeah.
So
and when you come together, right, if it's one body, the left hand is not fighting the right hand.
Right.
The left hand is coming together with the right hand, and they're doing stuff. Right. They're grabbing a tool or whatever it is, and you're making stuff happen. That's working together.
Right.
So in a sense, yes, a partnership. Now there is an alignment that happens in the kingdom, right? Where you have the God in Christ head, you have the husband as the head of the home, and the wife, and then the children, right? You have that alignment, but that's a partnership alignment,
right?
When
it doesn't mean that the husband is a dictator over the wife. That's not what it means. No one should be a dictator over anyone. We should be working together. Yes, there's rules that have to be followed. I don't care where you go in this world. I don't care if you walk in darkness or you walk in the light.
Right.
There are rules.
Yeah.
Even the darkness got rules.
Got rules, right. And their rules, it's easy. You do what you say, or you're out. You're out.
You follow my instructions, or they are a dictatorship. But you want to work together as a whole. You're one unit. Even though you're two separate, you're still one.
Yes.
That doesn't mean like it. I just not. In general, for a relationship, the husband is the head, and you said, well, why did he get to be a head? Women, don't fight that, because the word of God says, if you're a Christian woman, the word of God says that ultimately he is responsible for everything. Man is responsible for everything, so don't fight it. Let him be responsible.
Well, and the proper alignment, the wife is not going to have really any issues with the husband being the head if he is the proper head.
Right.
You can be the improper head.
Right. That's when you have problems.
And that's when you have problems. When the husband's out of alignment, he's running the streets or whatever, or
you can't trust him. There's no trust there. Right. He's not trying to work and pay the bills. He's absent from parenting and helping you raise the kids. Yeah. And then, our nature is just to take over because, things have to be done. Right. And so if there's a hole, women just like, okay, well, we got to do this.
Just feel it
because we got to get this done, Right. So, and that too causes, because then when you get a husband, if that one moves out of the picture and you get one who is a good man, who is in alignment, we have been dominating for so long, we don't know how to pull back.
Yeah.
And it's because we're insecure now. We don't trust, because we had a bad experience, maybe couple, and we're not willing to give up the reins because it's like,
you're afraid to pull back because what if this person drops the ball or whatever?
I've had that happen to me once before, So, but in the way God had it designed, the husband would be the head, the wife, the children.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that he's a dictator or that he dominates. It means in life, you two sit down together, you discuss it, you figure out a solution, and he reserves the right, or God has man, the male, to reserve the right to make the final decision.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it's my way or the highway, woman.
Right.
It's like, okay, honey.
And then that decision, after you make it, it might have been the wrong decision.
Right.
So then you recalculate your group together. So, okay, that was a bad decision,
So what was your perspective? Okay, let's try that this time. I'm sorry that mine didn't quite work.
And I'm always asking for your input on everything. So
when after having relationships that weren't the best, not that I had that many, but the ones that weren't the best, my key thing was that I just wanted to be heard.
Right.
So if in a relationship, if my husband came to me and said, this is where we are, this is where we need to be, this is what's happening, this is how we're going to get from here to there, what do you think?
Right.
That's what's like, yes. And then listen to me, ponder what the thoughts and the ideas that I have. Yeah. And if mine are better, be willing to say, you know what, which he does. I like your idea better. Let's go with that.
It's like the fire pit. I wanted a fire pit, but we don't have the space right now and the layout of the backyard. it's not conducive to a fire pit. So
Mhm.
I went ahead with your decision on no fire pit for
No,
right now.
no fire pit right now.
Right now. But it's coming. Fire pit is coming. Hey, we're going to take another quick break. You're listening to I Am Love Builder Show with Casper and Cheryl. It'll just be 10 seconds or so if you're watching live. If not, it may be a minute, but we'll be right back. All right. We are back with I Am Love Builder Show, Casper and Cheryl here. And we have been answering some questions that have come in over the years and months and so for as we've been doing the show. Uh, and I'm not going to recap the questions. You just have to listen to the show to get the questions and the answers. Well, we're going through this list. We should be able to get pretty much through most of them. But the next question is, how do you keep things fresh after many years of marriage? I mean, how do you keep it going? You know, because a lot of couples, not a lot, I don't know what the percentage is, but some of our friends, you know, they seem kind of just, ho hum, kind of.
They just kind of like go. They're just
Just
on
kind of
autopilot type of thing.
autopilot, yeah.
Yeah, just on autopilot.
Yeah. So how do you keep things fresh and happening?
Fresh
Yeah.
and happening.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do
so here's my thoughts. It goes way back. So for those of you who are not wherever you are in the marriage, if you're in a state right now where you got children, you're raising children, you got little people in your house. They haven't, you're not empty nesters yet.
Yeah.
And you got people in your house, you're still raising children. Do not neglect your marriage. I think that's what happens. We get so caught up, our whole world wraps around the children and paying bills.
The dog, the yard.
Yes, that we in our careers that we forget to put our marriage, our spouse, number one.
Yeah, should be first always.
Yes, because if you two are a strong, united front, then that just trickles down. It just works well for the whole family.
Yeah.
So I would say schedule time. Some people's lives are so busy, you need to do that.
You have to schedule it, yeah.
Schedule the time for husband and wife to be together.
Yeah, and it seems kind of, I can't think of the exact word, but when you schedule it, it seems like it's not spontaneous. You know, it's scheduled, so it's like it's not going to be as fun or whatever. Now, there's always going to be times to where, you know, the kids all of a sudden have an outing, so where they, you know, they hang out with their friends or something, and you're like, oh my God, we have 2 hours.
Yes,
you know, let's do something fun. You know, so that's kind of spontaneous, right? But a lot of times, you know, weekly, you still need to put that time on the calendar, whether it's a date night or something. You need to get that time on the calendar where you and your spouse are just hanging out. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or cost a lot of money. It could just be watching a movie or, you know, going for a walk or something.
And so I feel like if you're doing that, and when you now understand, here's a disclaimer: spending time together doesn't mean you spend time together and that whole time talking about the children.
Right. In fact,
it doesn't mean you spend time talking about the bills or the car or the outside inside family drama. No, that's the time for you to connect,
to reconnect or connect.
That intimacy, you two, you plan out how to have fun with each other.
Yes.
And it may be that the first time you do, you're so exhausted. You might think, well, let's just lay here and take a nap together, you know, but you cuddle and you take time together. And I think that's what helps to keeps the marriage from being mediocre or stagnant.
Right.
It's because you are intentional about having fun and spending time with your wife. I know, or your husband. I know for us, it's, you know, after Faith has gone to bed and everything, sometimes we just lay in bed and talk and we just giggle and laugh and act silly. You know, you lose that part of yourself.
Right.
And where you have fun. I mean, we're not doing anything but having fun. Sometimes we're, you know, kind of teasing each other, but we're having a good time. And it's invoking laughter and joy. And I think that helps to keep the marriage fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you get to the point, by the time you become an empty nester,
Right.
this is not foreign to you. You're not
Yeah.
looking at your spouse going, what was your name?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we have some friends of ours that they both had challenging careers and they have children,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids grew up and became teenagers and young adults, and the kids moved out, and they're like, so who are you and why are we even together right now?
Right.
It's
Right.
like, no.
Right. There were no
Yeah.
children, so they didn't have a conversation.
Right.
You don't want to get to that point. So you need to start it early on in your marriage, so that
Yes.
by the time, because we have other couples who have been preparing for this empty nester
Yeah,
syndrome.
I can't wait.
So when those kids moved
Yeah.
out, they were booking their first cruise. It was like, we are going on a trip. We're taking a road trip. We're buying some motorcycles. We're going to
Yeah.
rediscover. We're going to go places, do things, have fun, join a bridge club
Yes.
or
Yes.
something. So they were like, woo, let's go. They're gone.
Yeah.
And don't come back.
Yeah. Change the locks.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you start early. That would be my answer.
Okay.
Start early now,
Start
planning
early.
it.
Plan it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So another one is, what's the difference between a contract and a covenant? Mm-hmm.
So a contract
Yes.
states that there is A, B, C, and D that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm contracting with you that you're going to do A, B, C, and D.
And if you don't
do D,
I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, covenant is actually all marriages, true marriages, biblically sound marriages are covenant marriages, not contract.
Right.
It's a covenant that you enter into, and you need to take it very, very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something that you take lightly. It's not something that you can just say, well, you didn't do so-and-so. It's funny because we give these marriage vows that we take, when we get married, for richer or for poor, for this or for that,
to having to hold,
and then
the first
sickness and in health.
And then the first time something happens, I'm filing for divorce.
I'm out.
Well, what happened to the vows? And then some of them have gotten to the point now where they don't even use those vows anymore.
No.
They're just more contractual vows.
And they got a prenup contract.
Yes. Did you sign your prenup? No, there's no prenup. We don't have a prenup. We have no reason to prenup.
No, you can have everything I got. I just buy a new VCR.
Yeah, we both came into the marriage with zero. So our financial net worth was pretty much zero. So there was nothing to prenup about.
Nothing to prenup.
But the prenup, I think even if I was in a relationship and the person had something or whatever, the prenup, I'm just like, why bother?
Yeah.
We just forget it.
You're already almost guaranteeing that relationship is not going to last.
Right. And that's not the goal, that you get into a marriage to get divorced.
Yeah. So the difference between the contract and the covenant is the contract is very, very worldly. It's very matter of fact, if you don't do this, and this, I'm out. Where a covenant is we're in it. You're in it.
We're in it to win it.
Yeah. For better or for worse.
Yes. It's lifelong, and we're not looking for an escape clause.
Right.
So.
All right. So the next one is, and we probably won't get to it, I'll just kind of tell you what it is and we'll recap here in a second. How do you deal with unfriendly in-laws? Unfriendly in-laws. I actually had all my in-laws.
I was gonna say, actually, I really don't know, because I never had any unfriendly in-laws.
I think I did have one unfriendly in-law.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we're gonna talk about that, but all right, we're gonna take another quick break. You're listening to I Am Love Builders radio show, not radio show, just show. And it's probably going to be 10 seconds if you're watching live. And if not, then maybe a minute or so. We'll be right back in just a moment. All right, we are back with I Am Love Builders show with Casper and Cheryl, and this is a tricky topic because I actually have several situations of it.
Do you now?
It's embarrassing. I've got,
Okay.
yeah, I wish I just had one set of in-laws, but I've had several, and most of them were very nice. In fact, they still like me. The in-laws do.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. But
That's good.
there's one that was kind of whack. But anyway, um, but my current in-laws,
Yes, your current
yes,
in-laws. Oh
yes,
boy.
I love my current in-laws.
My mother goes shopping and sends him care packages. I'm like,
Yes, I love my mama.
but what about me?
So, but if you have um, unfriendly in-laws, how do you deal with that?
Well, I would say we have to go back to the dating game.
Okay.
When you're dating you and your uh, fiance.
Uh-huh.
That's something you two need to talk about.
Right. Right. It
And
needs to be
that's a
on the list of
discussion.
discussions. Yeah.
Yes, because when you realize that the in-laws don't like either him or her, how are the two of you going to handle that?
So biblically, it's very simple. Actually, it says pretty clear: you will cling to your wife and leave your father and your mother.
Right.
So it's pretty much a done
Mhm.
deal. But there are still a lot of parents out there that want to be very involved in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to be involved in your children's lives, which is fine, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But they also need to know that that's your
This is
family,
your world
your
now.
world, your
Mm-hmm.
family, and so
Mm-hmm.
forth, and your wishes need to be respected.
Right.
So you're going to have to kind of, I hate to say this, but kind of put them in their place and say, hey, mom, dad, look, yes, we want you to be involved in the kids' lives. We want you to be involved in our lives, but you're not going to be able to run our life.
Yeah, you don't make any decisions about our marriage,
Right.
Our relationship. Now, I know this could be probably really difficult, perhaps, I'm not sure, but perhaps with those cultures where it's automatic that the in-laws live.
Yeah. Yeah, you
You know,
still
it's
live
an
in the same
automatic, you
household.
have
Yeah.
an extended family
Mhm.
situation. You know, the
Mhm.
in-laws, your parents might live at the house and
Yeah.
his parents might live at the house. And, you know, then great grandma might be there too.
Right.
And then the uncle and then, you
Right.
know, cousins. It's
Mhm.
other cultures have a way of doing it. But biblically speaking, I would say you would have to just have a conversation with your spouse.
Mhm.
You two decide how you're running your marriage.
Yeah.
And that your parents don't get to run your marriage. They had their marriage.
Right.
Good, bad, or indifferent,
Mhm.
however it worked out, that was theirs.
Yeah.
This is yours. Now it's different when you come and you share if you're a parent with your adult children positive. You should never be negative.
Right.
You should never try to pit your son, his wife, or your daughter against her husband.
Right.
That's just not good. That's not your place to do.
You should basically just stay out of it.
Yes.
But that's easier.
Even if you live in the house with them.
Yeah, but that's easier said than done.
I know it is. But that's what you should. But if you love them, you step back and you let them run their marriage.
Yeah.
You might, if your son, you might give a word of encouragement. Say, son, just hang in there, calm down. You guys just talk about it. It'll work out.
Yeah.
That's different than she's silly. I don't know why you married her anyway.
I told you. I told you at the wedding not to do
it. On your first date, I didn't like her. You know that you don't. That's no. No,
Yeah.
that's just not cool.
No.
So, it you have to have a conversation, and you and your wife have to be a united front, and you have to set some ground rules. Parents love you. However, we need to work our marriage the way we need to work it.
Okay. I think that's fair. I think it's fair.
And you don't have to be mean, nasty, and ugly.
No, you don't.
No.
All right. Another question is: in the age of social media and technology, should all your devices be available to your spouse?
Unless you're planning a surprise party.
That's probably the only reason. What are you doing over there? Nothing. I need to see if are you that dude, your ex dude or something. What's going on?
Nothing, dear.
No,
Nothing.
no,
Don't worry. Don't
don't worry.
mind me.
So no, all of my devices are accessible. Passwords and everything else are accessible to my wife, and vice versa.
Yes.
And if you cannot do that, you need to really consider, what you have, because if you're so paranoid, or if you're
Controlling,
controlling,
insecure.
insecure about having your spouse have access to your phone or tablet or whatever, then you need to schedule a call with us constantly, because we can talk to you about that, because there's something else going on.
Well, yeah, because there's situation. Well, I've heard people say, why do I don't need to call him, let him know. I call my husband.
Yeah.
If I'm out or I go to an engagement, work late, whatever it is, and we're not together, I text him, call him, say, honey, I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that he's checking up on me.
And I'm not.
But it's just, to me, it's common courtesy. It's just courtesy. And in today's world where people disappear, I don't think it's a bad thing for you to call your spouse and say, hey, right now I'm at the Shriners or whatever, I'm at the hospital and I'm leaving and I'm coming straight home.
Right.
Or I'm leaving, I gotta stop at the store and get some milk and bread.
Right.
Then I'm coming straight home. I don't think that's a bad thing. We have always practiced that, and it was never a discussion.
Right. Right.
It's just something we did because we love and we're concerned, and we're concerned about each other's safety.
But we have seen a lot of couples to where they don't want to share their devices with their spouse, and that all that does is just create more of a
untrust, lack of trust,
and saying, well, so why? What are you saying that I can't be aware of?
Yeah.
Right. Again, we're not talking about surprise parties and stuff, but other than that, I mean, I try to behave in a way that my wife will be proud of me no matter where I am. Right. On the phone, on the social media,
across the
country, wherever. If she was like a fly on the wall or whatever behind me, I said, oh, she's behind me, isn't she? It's like, uh-oh.
That fly on the wall, that's her, isn't it? Honey, is that you?
Just ignore what I just said. No.
Buzz, be buzzing in your buzz. But no, I think if you have developed a strong bond of trust, there shouldn't be any reason why you should share your devices. We share ours, but I don't go snooping around trying to figure out what's going.
Yeah.
If he gets up and leaves his phone on the table and he walks away to go to the bathroom and the phone rings, I may or may not answer it. It depends on if I look at it and I see sister, and I know it's his sister who she's, we don't do sister-in-laws, we're sisters, I might pick it up and find, hey girl, how you doing? But if it's something else, it's probably more business, and I don't feel the need. I'm not nervous, I'm not paranoid.
But you could answer it if you wanted to.
Oh, thank you. No, but I don't want to, because I know the people the people you talk to, I don't want to talk to. Yeah.
It's like, oh, is this his wife? Is this Cheryl? Like, no, it's not.
No, that's all right. Some of the people, some of your, no. So I think if there's trust there, then you should be willing. He's willing, I'm willing. Now I don't.
Right.
But we can. You should be relaxed and comfortable enough in your relationship to do so.
You should be. All right, very good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the answers to those questions. Send us more. We want to be able to answer all your questions. And if you send us some more, we'll do another one of these maybe in a couple of months or so forth and answer some more of your questions. So feel free to shoot them over to us. We want to make you aware of our free ebook that's on our website. It's IamLoveBuilders.com. You can go there and download the free ebook, which is the first 5 chapters of our book. And there's a lot of great stuff in there, especially for singles. A lot of great stuff in there. We also have love assessments on our website, a 5-minute and a 20-minute love assessment. You can take that on our website because, we want you to become MVPs, the most valuable partner in your relationship. And when you and your spouse are both working on becoming an MVP, that's when things really get to be awesome, right?
Yes,
So at the end of the day, remember, if you're not,
not
having fun,
you're
you're
not doing it right.
We'll see you on the next show.